I'm Vanessa Ruck, welcome to my garage. I'm here with Teng Tools and the 1034 piece toolkit and cabinet. Now in this video we're going to be looking at ways to help you optimize your workflow to get your tools organized for the most efficiency you can possibly get. So in front of me, you can see that there are 71 different trays. Now this is a complete toolkit. It has a huge array of specialty tools and a lot of the kit that you're going to be needing for your workflows. We then have a cabinet. So below we have the 7-drawer roller cabinet, and we then have a top box on top with an additional 5 drawers. Now the 71 trays are designed to fit in here perfectly, but the organization of those tools is completely down to you. And the key thing there is that how these tools go in is going to change for every different person, because it's all about making sure that the tools that you're using the most frequently are the most accessible. So for example, the upper side of the tool drawers. So what we're going to do is get these tools into the cabinet, and I'm going to talk you through some of the things to bear in mind as you're doing the organization. But remember, this is personal to you. So the way I do it today might not be the way you want to do it, but hopefully it will give you food for thought to how to get yours organized. Before we dive into the organisation, a quick summary of this cabinet here. It has 12 drawers. You've got some slightly smaller depth drawers at the top, all the way down to 2 big drawers at the bottom. Now the toolkit with the 71 trays is designed to leave you with 2 drawers empty for whatever other items you might want to be getting in here. You can see up at the top we have the ability to close the cabinet. It's actually got hydraulics to hold that up. We've got the lovely aggressive Teng Tools logo, and all of the drawers are lockable and lovely and smooth to open and close. And the final push locks that. So if you're moving it around, these drawers are not going to suddenly open on you. It's on big wheel casters, and we've got a handle. Then we have all of the tools. There is everything from ratchet spanners to torque wrenches to electrical insulated screwdrivers. There's a lot of kit in here. And that is where the organization of the kit is going to be really important. So let's start to think about some of the things that are going to help us organize these tools. First thing I'm going to think about is imperial and metric. Now Teng have a couple of quick tricks to help you recognize the difference, and that is the plastic tray. So right here next to me I can see a black plastic tray versus the grey. That is a straight sign that they're imperial, which means it seems logical to put the imperial together potentially. But it's also going to depend what sort of jobs you're doing. If you're going to be doing jobs that need a few specific tools to do that job, you might want to think about putting them together. And you also want to then think about the obvious, which is like for like. So spanners with spanners and sockets with socket wrenches. With 12 drawers to choose from and a lot of tools, there's a lot of choice. This height drawer here feels like my number 1 drawer. It's the easiest one to access. It's right there at eye level, hand level. Also, should I be working on my stool, moving around next to my motorbikes, it's still nice, easy eye line, which means for me, that's going to be the one where I really want to get my most used tools. With a 37-inch drawer, you can typically fit 6 of these trays, which are this size, along with 1 of the longer trays and 1 organizer. And I think one of the things I really enjoy about this toolkit is the fact that they have actually factored in a little bit of extra space for you to keep loose things, all those odd screws, and have them having a home as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with my sockets. This is a really important one because this is the variations and adapters for sockets. Over here we have a 12-point socket set with a organizing space. We then have the smaller size sockets, and they're 6-point, and the medium size sockets, so I'm going to get those ones in as well. I'm just going to sort of present them to the drawer, and in a minute I might then reorder and shuffle around. Right, top drawer is complete. Next up, I'm going to load screwdrivers. Learning where your tools are is going to take a little bit of time, but things that you can do to help you accelerate your learning process is try and have a little bit of logic and similarities in how you fill your drawers. So for example, I've put my organizer tray in the left-hand corner of both drawers, which means I will very quickly get into the habit of knowing back left is where my organizing tools are. Okay, next up, let's go for pliers. The good thing about loading these drawers though is that it's not permanent. You can put them in, start working, see how it feels, and shift things around, constantly adapting and improving your layout for your working style. Tracked a little bit of time. I now have all the tools in my cabinet and I've got 6 things that I want to tell you as tips to help you get yours in there. First of all, I want you to think about the weight. This is an incredibly big tool unit. It has over 1,000 pieces of tool in there, with each drawer having an average of 100 tools. So there's a lot of weight. So as you're thinking about where you want your tools, it's worth trying to have the heavier tools down low. So for example, in my lower big drawer, I've put some of the big sockets and the huge tools that weigh a lot at the bottom. That's going to help the overall weight of the cabinet for its stability. It is an incredibly stable cabinet, but there's nothing wrong with helping it out. Next, you want to think about the size of the trays. You've got 71 trays going in these drawers, and they're not all the same depth. The top of the cabinet here has slightly thinner drawers, and they get larger as you go down. Now, the sockets I just showed you as an example wouldn't fit up here in this top drawer. So you want to think about the depth of those trays and making sure they're in the right drawers to make sure that they close. Now, the tolerance of this is beautiful. It's the Teng finish you would expect, but quite logically, if you put something in this drawer and it feels like it fits, but you haven't yet put weight into the drawer above, you've just got to make sure that the tolerances are all correct. So a good couple of mil spare on the size of the drawer is recommended. You've then got the layout of the drawers. Now, typically you're going to be looking at having 6 across the front, a long one and a spacer, and obviously that can swap round. Here's another example. We have double size units. So this has 2 small ones and 2 larger ones with a wide one. This drawer, you get the idea. There's different size trays, so configuring them is going to be something that you'll be thinking about as you get those drawers in. We then have the fact that there are 2 spare drawers. Now, you don't have to leave 2 completely spare drawers. What you can do is have capacity for other things alongside tools. For example, here, mid drawer, I've decided to have some tools and leave a space. That kind of links quite nicely to the fact that up top you've got a big space. This is quite a deep drawer as well, and of course this lid does close down, enable you to keep those secure and prevent, dust and stuff getting on them at night, and that then locks. I've opted not to put any of my tool trays in here, to have that as more of a working space for tools that I'm kind of in use of, or any parts that are coming off a vehicle. I can put them in here in some of the Teng Tidy trays. So for an example, I've got a magnetic Teng Tidy tray there. Depending on the type of work that you're doing, you might be on your feet, you might be moving around a vehicle, you might have a stool that you're working on, and you might be a short person or a tall person. So factoring that in as to what height drawer you put your key most used tools is going to be an important one. Now, the most important thing to remember with this toolkit is it is incredibly flexible. And for you, you need to work out what are your most used tools, what tools you use in combination with each other, and work out probably over time, because once you put them in, you might realize, actually, I need that with that, and you'll be ever evolving and optimizing the tool tray. But hopefully, with some of the tips that we've talked through in this video, you'll have a slightly better idea of how to get the most optimized workflow for your tools and give you the most efficiency. The great thing about all of this kit is every tool has a place, so that 10mm, 13mm spanner hopefully won't go missing quite as often. If you have any questions, suggestions, ideas, let us know in the comments. I'm Vanessa Ruck here with Teng Tools, and of course all of these products are available on the Teng Tool website.